Hello, everybody. How are you? I am Andrea Kilpatrick, and this is Changes, Transition with Grace. I am your Mrs. Classique Globe 2019. I am here online with you live. I'm so excited. Had a problem getting on for some reason. My brain couldn't figure out how to get live on Instagram, and I've been doing this for a few months now. So I don't know. I think this Halfheimers is really getting to me, and I'm just having major issues today. Seriously, was almost in tears trying to get on. So now you know that I'm human and I totally mess up a lot of the time. I want today to talk to you about our amazing guest. She is a former Mrs. Classique Globe. She is here in Colorado with me. Actually, she lives up like a mile and a half away. We are extremely good friends. Her name is Laura SLIFER, and today she and I are going to be talking about healthy changes and how we deal with that as we get older. There she is. Welcome, Miss SLIFER. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, good. Did you hear my panic attack?
Yes, I was listening to your panic attack, but it's okay. I happens.
I was like, it's not going on live. What is wrong? Why isn't this working? As the time's ticking away. But welcome, Laura, everybody. I'm so glad to have you here as I'm like totally like kissing you. Anyway, we're going to talk about health and fitness and changes in your body as you reach 45 and above. And Laura is like 29, so I don't even know why I'm interviewing her, but she's very wise. She's a very wise woman. Do you see her collection in the background? Doesn't that kind of make you go, wow, that's amazing? I just have one right there. It's just fun.
Good one.
Yeah, it is a good one. So Laura, how are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm good. I'm good. You know, I was listening to you tell everybody that we live like a mile and a half from each other. We should be in the same room together. I don't know if I'm on the phone.
I know. That's weird. But you know what? I couldn't even figure out how to get on live, let alone do it with you in a room. So I think both of us would have had anxiety trying to figure this out. I think it's just, I don't know. My brain is not working. I don't know about yours, but my brain is not working very well.
It's called age. That's why
I'm sure a lot of people out there can totally relate. And that's why I love this show, because we can talk to people and things that we don't really talk about, or we think that nobody else is going through. We're talking about it and embracing it. And that's why I wanted you on, because you are totally moving into a different facet of your life with this health and fitness and, eating right and taking care of your body. So how are you doing all of that?
I'm trying. It's it gets harder and harder every day and every year. But I have to tell you, though, I guess with age does come a little bit of wisdom and a little bit maybe being a little smarter about how we take care of ourselves, because we realize that we're not spring chickens anymore. But I have to say I feel the best now than I have ever in my life, and a lot of it is because I have moved into more of a fitness mind, I guess. I'm competing. I'm actually preparing 6 weeks to do another fitness contest.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's age is just a number, I guess, when we get into that. And I think I'm probably in the best shape I've ever been in my life now at 53 than I was at 23. So there's definitely something to be said about keeping yourself in good shape and at this age.
Well, I was reading online that nationally women that are in their 40s and their 50s and obviously older, that according to the American Heart Association, that the #1 killer of women is heart attacks and heart disease. And you never really associate that with women. Like it's a man thing, right? And so when I was reading that, I was like, wow. And a lot of women don't even know that. And it starts to affect you in your 40s and as you get older. So with all of that, how do you maintain your heart health and all of that?
Again, I think I can't stress enough how exercise and eating right is so important. You know, living a healthy lifestyle. And, you know, what does that mean? That's
Mhm.
something different to everybody, but everything in moderation, I think is a good way to go about that. But I really truly do believe, and the more I've gotten into fitness, the more food has become more of a thing. I don't want to say a thing, but a thing for
Mhm.
me. I eat healthy, eating the proper portions and things like that. I think is very important. And
Mhm.
as long as you're eating properly, hopefully you're not a smoker, but or you, not you, but
You know me too well.
I know you're not. But those kinds of things. Those are all things that obviously contribute to the heart disease and not being healthy. So yes, heart disease is a huge killer, if you will, for women,
Mhm.
for older women, and I think it's very important. As a matter of fact, my mom actually was just in the hospital due to some heart issues a couple of months ago. Yeah, and
Wow.
and she's of the generation that there wasn't. Sorry, mom, I love you, but but there wasn't a lot of exercise and things like that going on, and I think exercise,
Mhm.
keeping that blood moving and pumping through our bodies is super
Mhm.
important, especially as we age and mature.
Mhm. Well, and that was perfect segue, Miss Laura. Perfect segue. Because way back in the day, even when I was, in the 80s and younger, and our mother's generations and stuff, they always had this fear of if they were to work out and lift weights and all of that stuff, that they were going to become a man and they're going to have all these muscles. And so they won't lift the weights and they won't do that because they don't want those huge muscles. But really, what does lifting weight really do for you?
Lifting weights, our bodies are our bodies are made. That's why we have muscles to be able
Mhm.
to lift things. So if you don't keep it, it's like when you learn a language. If you don't use it, you lose it.
Mhm.
Our muscles
Exactly.
use our muscles, we lose our muscles, and that
Mhm.
creates, all spine issues. Our
Mhm.
muscles are important to keep us upright, and so yeah, lifting weights is extremely important. Now, do I recommend lifting super heavy weights all
Mhm.
the time? Because then, yeah, it depends on what you want to do because you
Mhm.
build muscle, but it's extremely difficult for women to. You have to work. You have to lift a lot of weights and a lot look like a man. Our bodies aren't.
I know, right? It's like, wow, you must be like really strong if you think you're going to look like a man.
And you have to take some extra hormones to look like
Yeah,
one.
it's some more testosterone. Yes. Well, and I know that but I had heard too and read that with lifting weights, you build your bone mass. It really helps with bone mass and your osteoporosis, and all of that stuff. So when you bring this up to your mother, have you ever like encouraged her to lift weights or to go to the gym with you or?
Um, that's actually that's a great. I've never really encouraged her to lift weights, but I
Mhm.
encourage her to exercise. And
Mhm.
I, I think especially that generation, and if you're not used to exercising, by exercising, I don't mean you have to go to the gym for an hour and a half every day.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
I'm 3 or 4 times a week, 20 minutes.
Mhm.
Bring that time, 20 to 30 minutes is
Mhm.
plenty of exercise, and that's what I encourage my mom to do now.
Mhm.
Because walk around the block.
Yeah.
That's blocks, and that
Yeah.
does wonders for
Mhm.
just to keep them moving and to get that exercise, to keep the weight off, all those kinds of things that we think about all the time.
So what regiment do you kind of do now that you're, I mean, you're kind of in a different mode than the normal 50-year-old because you're getting prepared for a competition. But when you're on your downtime and you're not in prep, and prep basically means people that she's getting ready for a competition. It's just a fancy word. And you're not in prep. What is it, what is it that you do just to stay so that when you do decide to do a competition again, you don't really have to start over? You're basically maintaining.
And that is maintaining. And I try in the last, I did my first fitness competition 4 years ago. And since then, on my downtime, on my maintaining time, I do try to keep up with my cardio work, my cardiovascular work, meaning walking on the treadmill, riding a stationary bike. That's what I do. Anything that keeps you moving and gets your heart going is cardiovascular work. But I try to do that 5 times a week during my maintenance. And lifting weights, I would say 3 times a week is what I try to do. But that's what my body is used to now. So, and I think as a general rule, I think cardiovascular work, again, that's keeping our hearts healthy. That's super important. And that's why I encourage my mom, not necessarily to lift weights, but get out and walk and do something physical.
Yeah, because they say, I mean, that being a #1 killer was just shocking to me. It was a awakening. But even if they say stretching too. Like if you can't, they said with the blood flow through your arteries and stuff, if you can't touch your toes, it's a hard time for your blood. It makes it difficult for your blood to flow through your arteries. So I'm like trying to touch my toes and I can't. So I think maybe I'm having some artery problems.
Dude, I'm working on that.
Flexibility, they say, is very good too. And it's very difficult as you get older to stretch, and it's kind of a good hurt. I know that's kind of an oxymoron, but it's hard to do that. Are you stretching?
I am stretching. I was having this discussion with my coach today. I told him, I said, Tamika, you'd be very proud of me because I'm actually stretching, and I'm stretching every day. And that's the thing that you can do. We don't realize how much time we have. Time to do that. Yeah, you do, because when you're I don't know. I watch TV, like that's kind of my unwind thing.
Oh, I'm with you there.
When I'm sitting and watching TV now, even for 15 minutes, I try to stretch out, and that makes a big difference. It's huge. Literally last month, how much more flexible I am now that I've consciously started doing that at night. 15, 20 minutes at night while I'm watching the news or now. So
yeah, and it's hard to do. I mean, I have an 11-year-old that says she's not flexible, but she doesn't stretch. So at 11, I mean, these are habits that you should really get into, because what happens is those muscles start to atrophy, and it is going to be more painful. But when I read that, that was really interesting.
Stretching, we were talking about bone health and bone density before. Stretching helps with that too. Those muscles in shape, and using them limber is what helps keep our bones healthy as well. So stretching and the physical activity is extremely important for bone health.
Are there certain vitamins or certain foods that you're eating that kind of help with this working out routine and stretching and all of that?
There are. I'm a huge advocate for supplementation. Unfortunately, our foods, even if we eat a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables, there's a lot of things in them and on them. Even in the growing process, I think our foods now are altered a little bit. I'm a huge proponent for taking supplements. I take a daily multivitamin every day. I take glucosamine for my joints. Again, At our age, it's really important to keep
Yeah, when you start hearing that cracking, doesn't that bother? I'm like, oh my God, my kneecap's gonna fall off.
out of bed and you can hear yourself walking across.
It's so sad. It's so sad. Okay, you non-classic women out there, you just wait.
I know,
You just wait.
it's real, I promise.
This is real. Yeah.
I do think, glucosamine, calcium is super important. So I think it's important to take all those things. Taking a great, I take an omega, a strong as well. That's all. That's all needed. And as we age, our bodies, those are things our bodies produce naturally. But as we age, our bodies slow down with producing those. So supplement helping with that is super important. I eat a lot of too.
Yeah, I know. And you like your spinach.
I like my spinach. Yeah.
A lot of people aren't Popeyes out there. I like spinach, but I don't like it cooked. It has to be raw for me. Yeah, it's crunchy, crunchy raw. But yeah, that's, and I know you take your fish oils, that helps with the joints too. And I found this thing called Osteobiplex, and I'm not at all telling you guys to go buy Osteobiplex, but it really works. After like 3 or 4 days of taking it, I'll hear like the cracking and the, you know, when you're walking. And then I take the Osteobiplex, in about 4 or 5 days, I don't hear that anymore. Yeah, it really works. It really works. Yeah, and I learned that from a man, from a man. Yeah, yeah, who has joint issues as well. But and I mean, this interview has gone by so fast. I just love talking to you. And I've noticed too, like with our isolation and everything, and then I have a birthday coming up, and just kind of been deep thinking and trying to figure things out of, you know, now the reason why I wanted to do this show was because women our age are just, we change, and we, you know, we go from a college girl to trying to find yourself, to going to school, to having different amounts of friends, to a wife and a mother, and then you're into your career and all of that stuff. And now as I'm getting older and my children are getting older, I'm trying to find my purpose and what I'm doing, and I'm kind of floundering, and I'm a little lost. So I was just wondering, you know, do you have a purpose that you're focusing on right now, that, you know, you're older, or are you just kind of just going along with the flow?
That's a great question. And I think my purpose now, after thinking about that a little bit, is hopefully with age does come a little bit of wisdom. And I think my purpose now, especially because I am moving into this fitness arena, if you will, hopefully giving back some of my life knowledge and wisdom to people. As you know, in our pageant, in our MRS.GLOBE system, every week I do a call on Mondays. And that's really fun for me, because I hope that I can give back some of what I know about anything, life, about pageants. So I think my purpose now, I think, is just helping, hopefully being able to give some advice and you know, some golden nuggets as far as staying fit and feeling better now, to the younger generation. Hopefully.
I like that. And obviously you feel fulfilled because you're just glowing. And, you know, I know those early mornings you don't want to go to the gym.
No. Let me tell you.
Then her little timer goes off, folks. And then she's like, I've got to eat right now. I have to eat. It's so funny. To make yourself eat like every 2 or 3 hours, that is dedication, my friend. Dedication. Yeah, well, I mean, and then what she was mentioning, her first competition, she did really well, but you get better and you feel better, and you know, you want to work harder and do more. So, and it's definitely showing in your skin, in your, you know, in your personality, your demeanor, you know what I mean? It's just when you feel great, it starts to show. You have this glow. Agree?
Yeah, and
yeah.
with my competitions, it's not about the competition with the other women. It's
That's
about
right.
myself. And that's
Hmm.
time I get better and better, and I'm getting older. So that's
Hmm.
mentally, that's great.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I know there are a lot of misbeliefs out there with pageants too, where they think, you know, you're out for each other's throats and stuff. But I'd have to say, even with bikini competitions or fitness competitions, you end up meeting your closest friends that you're competing against, you know, and you're really not competing against them. You are basically in a competition with yourself. How much have you learned? What more can you do? You know, kind of thing, pushing yourself to that limit. And definitely seen that in your progression, which is amazing. Makes me want to go out there and run. No,
You.
no, I'll just you know, walk on my treadmill, walk my dog. I don't know. I seem to just be like, I don't know, with this energy, you know. And you know, I know that you have been looking into hormone health as well, as you know, I have been doing that too. Do you think that with your hormone, you're, you know, getting your hormones regimented? Because some people believe that you should just age the way that you age, and you don't really need to worry about the hormone health. And I would have to say my gynecologist says the same thing. Well, you're, you know, 48. You should. This is how you should be feeling. Really? Really, you should be feeling low in energy and, you know, do you, I mean, how do you feel about all that?
Highly disagree with your OB. Sorry.
Hmm. Oh yeah, that's why I don't see her anymore.
You're right. And again, as I was mentioning earlier, you know, our bodies naturally produce certain hormones, and
Hmm.
as we age, our bodies don't produce as much, but we still need those.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Having my hormones balanced it helps with I sleep better at night. I have way more energy. You know, I'm able to get myself out of bed at 4:30 in the morning. Do I want to? No, but
No, but you,
wake up and now, you know, my body needs
mhm.
that exercise. Um, I, you know, absolutely hormones
Hmm.
are vital, I think, to our health and well-being. And
Hmm.
the better you are mentally, I can focus better. I think better. I can form a complete sentence now.
Hmm. Yeah, I cannot, because my hormones will be up to date on Monday. Yes. So and it's an amazing transition where you think that you feel good, you know, and you think that maybe you're too young to be looking into that. But people, you know, in your 40s, some people in their 30s have hormone issues and stuff. And your OBs out there may be thinking that, you know, no, you're fine or whatever. But you know, um, why would you want to feel that way when you can feel so much better? So, I mean,
I totally agree with that. My
yeah.
mom's in her 20s and she's having hormone issues. So
Hmm.
there's, you know, it's kind of a myth that that your hormones don't come into play until your 40s and your 50s. That's
Hmm.
that's a lie. It's extremely important to have them balanced and running
Hmm.
properly so that your body can run properly, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, just because, you know, and I even have talked to some women about this, just because you're in your 50s or your 60s, why should you feel like you're in your 50s or 60s or your 70s?
I
Why not feel at your optimum wellness, you know? Yeah, so I'm a big advocate for hormone health. And I know there are some classiques out there and some women out there that are watching that are like, you know, I have these night sweats and I'm not sleeping and I can't complete a thought and I get brain foggy. That's where I am right now. That's how I know, because I'm not sleeping and I'm not able to complete a sentence. I'm surprised I'm able to do this interview with you. Because
doing great.
I couldn't even sign on to the phone.
True, and you
And
do.
then I was like, oh, I'm crying. And you know, nobody can cry pretty. So I was like, you got to pull it together, Andrea. You just got to pull it together.
But you do. You notice when your hormones aren't.
Oh, oh, and you know who else notices? You know who else? Your family. That's who notices. They're like, what's wrong with you? You know, they can't quite put their finger on it, but I mean, so women, please, all of the people that are watching and listening, even if you think you're too young, but if you're having some of those issues and you just don't have any energy and you used to, and you used to be funny and you're not so funny anymore, go get your blood tested. Check it out just to see, just for your own knowledge, because something's not right. Just saying.
For sure. We tell each other that all the time when we saw each other every day.
Oh yeah. Gee, are you okay?
Yeah.
There's something wrong. Look at that. Look at that. It totally fell over. So now that it's 10:31 and I have to hold the phone up. I love you, Laura. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing health and fitness and basically ageless beauty and taking care of yourself. And I think that I'm hoping that we touched a lot of people out there and gave them a lot of knowledge to maybe ask some questions. And you guys, you can come on. I have changes every Friday, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. We also have other shows throughout the week. We have Body Confidence with Alicia, Mrs. Curvey, and we have alumni on Thursdays that are former Mrs. Globes, but they're not all former Mrs. Globes. They're just people that are, you know, where are they now and what has Mrs. Globe done for them and all of that. So, hey, I just have to say just really quickly, Laura, do you see the complexion?
Uh-huh.
No filter, Laura.
Wow.
Guess why?
I guess.
As my phone is going everywhere.
I know
Because I used this. Yeah, so this is a Mrs. Globe product. It's called Shock. So I used this today. And let me tell you guys, you would be scared if you saw me without this. I have major sun damage. So, and you can't even see it. And I'm not using a filter today because I'm not good with filters. So I decided,
You look gorgeous and beautiful as always.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you so much. And everybody out there, say thank you to Laura. And we will all see you next week on Changes, where I have a very, very special guest who will help us with our skin. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.